So, the first person is Alex. Thank you very much for having you here, and I'm looking forward to your answer in 4 minutes. The stage is yours.
Thank you, David, and thanks for having me. Well, since I'm working in the chemical industry, the chemical industry in general and the specialty chemical industry, companies like Clariant, bear a particular responsibility when it comes to sustainability. Our products leave a tangible footprint in everyday's life, and you could only provide credible answers to your customers about how your products perform in terms of sustainability if you would not limit the focus only on the performance of the products per se, but also on all the services, equipments, products, raw materials you actually buy to produce this solution which you sell. So therefore, you need to focus per se on the supply chain. And in the chemical industry, we need to focus then the sustainability performance on suppliers, doing it two ways. On the one hand, we are working in a kind of a global joint initiative, a global network. It's called TFS, Together for Sustainability. And within this TFS assessment or framework, procurement managers in my team and also in other companies basically are enabled to assess and to review the sustainability performance of their suppliers. This is also happening with the support of a rating company. We have EcoVadis here in place. And what's actually happening is our suppliers are getting questionnaires, asking them questions in terms of sustainability, covering different dimensions, different objects, can be environmental, human and labor rights is a very important topic, ethics, as well as sustainable procurement. And these questions can be very generic, relating to some policies, and they are also partly also very, very specific when it comes to actually what are you doing to reduce your energy consumption? How are you doing that in terms of your specific equipment you have in place? What are your actions in waste management? All these things. And by this, you're getting ranked and you have a scorecard overarchingly for your supplier in place, and you get the performance, how they rank in terms of sustainability, in terms of a rating, a supplier rating. I think the beauty of this approach is basically twofold. It's quite evident. You get by this framework easily access to supplier performances in this term, and also to a kind of visibility on a large scale basis, which you would not have if you would do it individually as a company all alone. And on the other hand, in terms of comparability, by assessing your suppliers that way, you could immediately identify those companies who are somewhat good in shape, and more importantly, also those which where you see immediate improvement required in terms of their sustainability performance, your problem childs even, so to say, and you can trigger actually corrective actions via that approach, which may also entail on-site auditing with other firms, where you can also go to the site of the supplier and really check how they're performing there in terms of some sustainability criteria. The other approach, and I think that's not too specific for the chemical industry, is something which ties in the rules of supplier segmentation, your key supplier management. Here you actually work with those suppliers which can overarchingly contribute to your sustainability targets of the company. I won't go too much in detail with respect to the time, but here, of course, you have close follow-ups and sustainability-related targets, actions and goals which you pursue. A very, very famous parameter which we in the chemical industry follow here, to give an example, is of course the CO2 emission footprint in the overarching supply chain. Buying from the raw material side, that would mean the so-called Scope 3 related emissions footprint. If you look at energy procurement, that's my home turf, so to say, that is something where you look, of course, at the improvement of your energies and of the footprint of the Scope 2 related emissions that you have in there. By this, to close with, you're actually doing a kind of a value chain management with your suppliers in a sustainable way.
Thank you very much, Alex. This was very insightful, and I can see, so one thing is really clearly noticed, transparency, and first of all, understanding how it looks like before you want to manage seems to be, also when it comes to sustainability in the chemical industry, a very important point, and I'm sure we will talk a bit more